go. Amazing. That's my boy. That's my boy.
Breaks away from the sack and completes the pass for first down.
Oh, Kittle just may have made the most amazing catch.
He fights for the first down and gets out of bounds too.
It's no good. Overtime. Oh, what a catch. How do you drop that? What are you, Jamal Adams? Touchdown.
This is a touchdown all the way.
He reached over the pylon. San Francisco beat Cincinnati. Fine.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. This is Jets Chaos, and I am live, and you must be thinking I'm crazy. Of course, there are people who aren't even going to watch the video. You got those idiots in the comment section that scroll by and say, "You're not a genius," blah, 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 blah. and or "Oh, you're freaking just clickbaiting because." Blah, 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 blah. No. You use those kind of thumbnails and those kind of things, yes, to grab attention. That's the whole point. That's like complaining. Budweiser makes commercials and tries to make their product look good. I mean, people are so stupid. Yes, I'm saying, is Moogs a genius? But why am I saying that? Why am I asking that question? Well, what I'm really trying to say is he's doing an amazing job with the salary cap. Is the financial situation good or bad? Like, what kind of job is he doing that way when you look forward as we rebuild this team? That's really the question. Is he a genius? I don't know if you're going to call it genius. Genius is probably an overused word. It's certainly a strong word to use when you're trying to get people, yes, to click on your link and watch your video. That's fine. But it is relevant to what this video is about and what this show is going to be about. We're trying to find out or figure out, like, where are his strengths as a GM, because when you're a general manager, there's talent, bringing in talent and good players. And there's also something that's overlooked by a lot of fans, and that's salary cap management. That's resource management. Very, very important, especially when you're rebuilding, because you don't want to find yourself where you finally get a couple of good players in, you get yourself to be an 8 to 9 win team, but guess what? You screwed up your salary cap, so you can't bring in any more resources. That's a problem. So how is Moogs doing? How is he doing? We're going to find out how he's doing. First, we're going to say hello to Ruggs. Peace to you. Twisted says, how's it going? It's going okay. I'm a little twisted right now. So anyway, I'm going to introduce somebody who you might know, you might remember. He's a salary cap expert, I'd like to call him. He's an expert because he does hours of analysis on this, and we're going to get his take on how is Darren Mougey doing as far as salary cap management. So let me introduce Tony, the GM. Tony, how you doing?
How are you, Bo?
We're doing good. We're doing good. As you can hear, I got everybody warmed up. Everybody wants to know. Everybody is interested in doing the research with you or having you show us your findings, what you've been able to come up with as far as, is Darren Mougey doing a good job with the salary cap?
Let me tell you, this is the most impressed I've been with the Jets salary cap situation in probably 10 years.
Wow. That's a lot. That's saying a lot.
That is saying a lot. He totally cleared out the dead cap in 1 year. The Fields trade was one of the best moves you could probably get from a GM. He took the entire cap hit of basically every dead contract, and now the Jets are starting from 100% scratch.
And what's so interesting is that he's wiping the slate clean, but was still able to maybe not bring in superstars, but bring in guys that are competent at that position that can hold those positions down in the meantime.
Well, you know what, Jeremy? It's actually even a lot better than that.
Okay.
Because if you start with the actual salary cap currently, the 27 cap only has $10 million of dead cap on it.
Wow. I mean, and that's what we wanted, right? A lot of people said, let's just eat it. Let's just take it now. Just swallow that Robitussin, as bad as it tastes, get it over with, right? And then clear the way for the future.
Right. But here's the thing, Jeremy. The 28 cap only has $9 million of dead cap. every contract on this current, every contract that they have on the cap is actually a legitimate contract.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many void years whatsoever.
Right.
I mean, it's amazing. I've never seen this level of competency by a GM from the Jets standpoint in years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's pretty impressive.
Right. Now let's start. Could you actually show the cap?
Yeah. So let me bring that up here. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do that. Let's see. Video file, image file. I think I could share screen. I could bring up the cap calculator like so. Let me close that ad. And here we go. You should see it now.
Actually, I don't for some reason, but that's okay. I'm good.
Okay, let me see. Oh, wait a second. If I'm not showing it, that's a problem. Let me add it to stage. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Okay. Are you live, by the way?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Start at how much money we have on the actual cap left for the year.
Okay. So if we go 2026, I look at the top. Let me go over here. Scroll here to the top, and I have let's see, 39,500,000, but that's not the real actual real money, is it? Because I mean, we have to take away for the draft coming up, and
right. Yeah, you got that right, Jeremy. You pay attention from our last cap video from a while ago.
I do. I come to this site over the cap every once in a while. You know, sometimes it gets a little complicated. Jeremy gets a little overwhelmed, but for the most part, I can make out certain things and get some good information from this.
Okay, now start with the actual. How many picks do we have in this draft coming up? But we have the number 2 and number 16 in the first round.
Right, and then we got number 33 and number 44 in the second round.
Right. Now, if you scroll down to the bottom list of players. All the way to the bottom, you'll see minimum contract. They range from 885,000, I believe.
They do. I see
all the way up to 1.8. I think a 10-year veteran would get 1.4 million on a veteran contract. So the salary cap for the drafted players needs to be subtracted from the 39 million at the level above the minimum contract. So we'll say on average, minimum contract is 1.1 million. You need to take away about 13 million from that cap.
Yeah, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, I see what you mean. There's a bunch of guys here.
Right. Mm-hmm. So the people we draft in the first and second round are going to have about $13 million in excess cap that we need to take off that 39 million.
Okay.
So what are we down to?
So that brings us down to 26 million.
Right. Now, you need in-season cap, right?
Right.
Just in case. You need just in case money.
Yeah.
You're saying they normally operate 6 to 10 million in season.
Okay, so that gives you 16 to 20 in actual cap.
Now, here's the thing, Jeremy. You said they can't make a splash. They could actually do whatever they want because they don't have any dead cap. They also could create a ton of money.
Right. I think a lot of people forget, right? I just want to clarify. When we say we have 16 to 20 this year, you could sign, just as an example, a big contract, and the cap hit doesn't have to be that big for this year, right? Like, so you could have a $15 million hit this year for a player, who's making 25 average per. But the way you structure the contract with the bonus and everything like that, it only hits the cap 15 million, right?
Exactly. Okay. Now, the part that people don't understand when it comes to contracts, they say guaranteed money, guaranteed money. Every dollar of the contract, if you sign for 3 years, how much you want your salary to be? If we sign you for 3 years, $36 million, that $36 million, even if it's $5 million guaranteed or $20 million guaranteed, will eventually hit the cap.
Right.
Right? So that's where the issue comes in. What you could do is give bonuses and spread it out over void years. Right? So if I give you 20 million guaranteed, you could spread that out over void years. If I cut you, I'm only going to get charged to 20 million, not to 36. So if you look at the actual contract, Jeremy, you're going to see some of the best artwork that you could see from a general manager. Now, who do you have as the first player on top?
Well, you have Breece Hall.
Right. Typically, most teams don't start with a $14 million contract.
Right. That's really highly unusual.
Exactly. This is a clean roster. This is a perfectly clean roster. These are players that they chose after 1 year of evaluation to be on the roster. That's a great place to be in the second year of a rebuild.
Right. Right. We're not stuck in any big, ugly contracts.
Now, that's even an understatement, Jeremy. They're not stuck in any ugly contract.
Right.
Okay, which is amazing. Now, what do you have at the top? You have Breece. He's a transition tag.
Right.
They could renegotiate. They could sign him.
And then the question becomes, if we let's say they extend him, let's say we get a real contract put in place with him, are we going to make the cap hit for this year be less, or let it be a lot of it this year, since we have the money if we don't add anybody else on?
You see, that's up to him, up to Mougey, because he's in such great shape that he might want to just spend some of the money this year and give him, say, 3 years, 36, give him 12 million per on each year and save the money for later years. That's how great shape the actual cap is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's if he wanted to go out and trade for Jamar Chase, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. They could sign Hall, create an extra $5 million, and they could redo the next 4 or 5 contracts beneath Hall. Yeah. And create whatever they want to sign any player in the NFL right now.
Yeah.
That's a great place to be, no?
That's a great place to be.
Right. Now, we got back. He's on a transition tag. The only other tags there are the non-exclusive and the exclusive franchise tag. You know the difference? You recall?
Well, the exclusive or the non-exclusive is the non-exclusive. People can make them offers, right? And if we lose them, we lose them. But I thought the exclusive, they would have to give us some kind of draft pick or something.
Well, it's actually the non-exclusive means that they could they could sign them, but they have to give you 2 first-round picks. It depends on the tender, the round you put on them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, what player that you see there might be coming up for a contract in the next couple of years? Maybe your left tackle, right?
Right.
That might fit somebody, right? Or maybe Membo eventually.
Right.
They might play at that level where that might be utilized, correct?
Sure. Absolutely.
I don't see it on anybody else, right?
No. I mean, we could take a look, but I mean, this is rare. You don't normally see this when you're looking at a team salary cap situation. Like, you don't normally look, and you look in the cap number column. If you look to the right before the, the most right column here, and you see that the cap is 14,293,000 on Brees, and then you see it's 13,900,000 on Brandon Stevens, pretty much 14 million on him. But with him, it's only one more year, and then it's clean. Like, if we don't like, it's really team control if we want Brandon Stevens to play next year.
Right, exactly. Now, here's the thing. If you look at all those contracts, you have the minimum contracts at the bottom, okay? Some are guaranteed, some aren't guaranteed. They could just cut the player, okay? After that, you have the rookie contracts. You can't touch those contracts. You can't renegotiate. You could extend them early, but you can't change the amounts right now, okay?
Right.
If you cut them, they're fully guaranteed. You lose the, you create dead cap.
Right.
Now, here's the key. If you go to any one of those players that are not on a rookie contract, they're all basically team friendly. If you look at the Parham, is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah, the Parham signing. These the tackle, the guard they signed to replace Simpson. In case people wonder.
Do you think that's an upgrade?
It is an upgrade. I mean, if you go by PFF score and based on every kind of stat, they're not PFF is not the best, but it's like, as Frankie from Flatbush says, it's all we have. And when you go by what we have, he had a better year than Simpson last year, and there's no question about that. So
now here's the thing, Jeremy. If you click on the actual player, the name Parham, right?
Yeah.
It'll show his contract.
Okay.
Do you see it?
Yeah, I did it. Let me make sure that I'm able to share that one. Let me stop screen. Then we're going to share again so we can show you this page. There you go. Let me get rid of that ads. And there you go. You should see it now.
Okay. Actually, I can't see it. I got a new phone and I didn't update the StreamYard app. So I'm doing it in the top of my head, but that's good knowledge, right?
Yeah. Let me God darn it. Let's see. See why it's not sharing screen. This is a pain in the ass, man. StreamYard's the worst. I gotta tell you, it's pretty bad. Okay, share screen. Share. Okay, hopefully it's we lost it, so hold on. I don't know why it's not showing.
Okay, that's okay then.
Yeah.
If you go to Parham contract, he only has 7 million guaranteed. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I see here that it would be dead money, 7 million if we cut him.
Right. That's a great contract.
Yeah,
Jeremy, they could get rid of him next year and take a minimal hit.
4 million.
Now, think about it. If they draft the Penn State guard, for example, they could get out of that contract in 2 seconds next year.
This is true.
They did that for every single player basically on that roster. There's a team-friendly out for every player on that roster. That is unheard of.
Unheard of.
Right. Look at who's the safety we signed.
Belton. Let me see if we can bring it back up now. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing it anymore. We lost it, man. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out why we lost it. Oh, okay, because I got to add it to stage. Stupid me. Okay. My dumbness.
You haven't done live in a long time.
Yeah. Okay, so here we go. So Belton is the guy here. So let me.
Now look at Belton's contract. Cut him. Just cut him, pre-June 1st, whatever. What's your dead cap?
Okay, let me do this in front of people so they can see. Now that I figured out what's wrong. So hold on a sec. Stop sharing. Built-in share. Okay, there we go. And if we look at Belton, the dead cap, if you cut him, is $2 million.
Exactly. Do you know how beautiful that is?
That's crazy. That's crazy.
There is no future dead cap on that contract.
None at all. It's just 26. There's nothing. It's just a clean
Right.
$1 million. It's a clean $4 million deal.
Right. Now they're all basically clean deals. You know, who's the other safety from Miami?
Let's look. Fitzpatrick. Let's take a look at that.
What's his current salary?
Okay, I'm going to bring it up right now. Let me find them here. Wow, you can't even find them. He's so far down. Okay, here we go. Fitzpatrick, give me a second here. Well, man, they really got to do something about making this easier to use. Okay. At the stage. Here we go. Here's Fitzpatrick. And his base salary, his cap number is $7.4 million.
That's incredible.
Right. Next year, his cap is $15 million. It would be 13 to cut him. So we do have to we're living with him for 2 years. That's for sure.
Exactly. It's a 3-year contract. But go to his third year.
Yeah, the third year, 28, it's only $4.5 million if we decide to move on from him.
Exactly. Well, obviously he's here for 2 years, right?
I mean, clearly we say 3-year deal. So when people say, oh, he's so old though, he's 30. But really it's a 2-year contract because you can get out of it, like you said, in 28, 4 million, 4.5. You could do it post-June if you wanted and make it like it's literally 1.5.
Don't go there. We're not doing that anymore.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to do that. This is what the thing is. We did a cap. Everybody says that the cap is fake. The cap is as real as could be. You could make cap space anytime you want. The issue with the Jets, take it back to the original cap. Get rid of this contract. I want to show you something. Okay? They don't have a lot of cap-friendly contracts that you could make actual cap space on this year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? If you go back to the original,
we're doing it
and start at the top, you have the extension to Brees Hall.
Right.
Okay. Who's the next player on the list?
Brandon Stevens. So he's the one
Right.
that we can get out of it next year for easily.
Right. But you also could renegotiate that contract.
Right. Like
okay.
Like any of those guys. Mika Fitzpatrick, if he's good that third year, we could renegotiate, right? So
right. Or you could just say, you know, Brandon, come here, we're gonna give you money and a bonus, we're gonna borrow some of your money. Right?
Yeah.
It's team friendly. The Garrett Wilson contract is the only real contract on this, like with real salary, real amount to it.
Well, and let's talk about that because today the Seattle Seahawks announced that they signed JSN to a 3-year contract or 4-year contract, $42 million per year, whereas Garrett Wilson averages out to under $30 million per year over the next 5 years.
Exactly. That's a steal and a half.
Yeah. I mean, and for people who say, well, Garrett Wilson is no JSN. Well, if JSN would have played for the Jets last year, believe me, he wouldn't have had the numbers that he had. I mean, it does. They're you know, some of it has to do with who your quarterback is.
Now, look at these contracts. You have the Stevens contract, which is actually very friendly. You could get out of it. The Sherwood contract, if you look at his third year, you're out of it with no problem. Okay?
Right. Sherwood right now, we're and that has nothing to do with well, yeah, we signed him. We're the like Moogs is the one that did it, right? But we didn't know he was gonna have that terrible year. Right now, it would be Obviously, he's an 11.5 cap number, but you're telling me that in 27 we'd be able to get rid of him, right? Like, let's see.
28. I think he goes up to 28, I believe. You could get out of that quickly.
Yeah, he has a cap number of 19 million next year in 27.
Right.
But it's a it looks like a 7.5 cap hit if we cut him.
Exactly. What are you doing? If you want, right?
If you want.
Or you know what? He's homegrown. You know, come in, Jamie, and let's renegotiate, get you a better contract for us if you want to stay, whatever. This is what people do. They want to get rid of every player on the team. We can't, you know, that's been the issue with the Jets for how many years, Jeremy?
Right. We have to. He had a little bit of an off year, but I believe that Sherwood could still be. He's just not the head guy. Like he needs let's see if he's a better with Demario Davis. Let's see if Sherwood is a better Robin. You know, maybe
exactly.
he's not. Maybe he's
I'll
not
tell
Batman.
you right now, if we were really the actual GM and assistant GM, you're doing a great job. Okay. Now keep on going. Harrison Phillips, you could just cut him. There's no dead cap.
If you wanted, but why would we? Right? He's only 7.5 million.
But I'm saying,
yeah.
Why? I mean, if you needed or wanted or whatever, Fitzpatrick we already discussed. Membu's a guaranteed contract. At the next one, Olu too. There you go, Joseph Osei. Is that how you pronounce it? The edge rusher.
Yeah. I think it's Joseph Osei.
Okay, that's a very team-friendly contract also. And that's a real contract. He's here for 3 years. Now, you say you want to bring a young kid in with upside. That's exactly what they did, though.
Yeah, it looks like this year he's only 5.4 he only hits the cap 5.4. The year after that, he's 12 million. Very good against the run. Like he's a real player. It would be we can't cut him so we definitely have him for next year. Let's look at 28. For 28, he's cuttable. He's 5 million dead cap hit.
Exactly. I mean, what does that leave them with the now these are the two, right? Demario Davis is here for 2 years.
Yeah.
They probably could renegotiate year 2. You know, he'd probably give a homegrown discount, even though we let him go and come back, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a $5 million cap hit this year, which is crazy. He's 12.5 next year. He cost us 10 to cut, so we're not going to do that. He's here for 2 years, but then in 28, he is only a 4.5. He's only a $4.5 million. It's a void contract. 4.5.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So out of all of those, only Kingsley and David Onyemata have, if you go back to 27, you could see there that they have a little bit of dead cap attached to them.
Right, but not too much. Nothing that's going to really cripple us or anything like that.
Now, can I ask you something as someone who understands the game? I know you understand the game. Listen to me. If they draft a middle linebacker, do they have a vet there that could help them?
Well, Demario Davis is the perfect vet to help them.
If they draft a safety, do they have a vet there that can help them?
Mika Fitzpatrick is a perfect veteran to help.
He'll
help with Malachi Moore. Already, he's going to help with Malachi Moore for sure.
Right. Now, are you seeing the Jets have 4/5 of a offensive line returning?
Absolutely, and the guy, and then we upgraded the guard.
Right. Now we talked about actual depth for the offensive line, which I was a little bit worried about. You know, they could easily fix that with the draft. Easily, correct?
Yeah, and I'm kind of especially if they draft a center, because what that does is you have somebody to compete with Myers. Myers could move over. Tippmann could, if you had to, could move to center to replace, move a guy over to guard. Like there's a lot of different things you could do. I also think Mitchell I think we're hard on him as a fan base, but I think for a backup player, Mitchell brings you some nice versatility because he could play any of the 4 but center.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I want you to take a look at one other contract, Andre Cisco.
Okay.
Okay.
This was the one that was a little confused. I'm going to be honest. It was a little confusing to me why we brought this kid back. I didn't think he was very good last year. As a matter of fact, I thought he was terrible. So I'm trying to figure out. I mean, it cost us nothing. We can cut him for 1.25 million. So we don't even know he's going to make the 53. I mean, he's so.
Right. Here's the thing, though, Jeremy. The amazing part of this is that Cisco could be cut for nothing.
Yeah, it only cost us about 280,000 if we cut him.
Okay, but the major thing is that Cisco has incentives in that contract. So Mougey basically told them, if you play above average, you're getting 5.2 million or whatever it was.
Right.
That is the way to do business.
Right.
Okay?
Incentive based. Like if you suck, we're paying you, you're getting 1.5 or whatever it is, $2 million. But man, if you rock it and you get your ass back in line, you're motivated because you're going to pay, because you're going to make much better money.
Exactly. Now, I've had an issue with people talking about the Jets roster. Okay. It's actually much improved over last year. What do you think?
Oh, I agree 100%. Even when you talk about Quinn Williams and Sauce Gardner, I think, it's like Moneyball. By the aggregate, we have a better roster than we did last year. And I truly believe that.
Especially since we have 4 starters coming in.
Yeah, I mean, and then yeah, because we haven't even done the draft yet. We know that the number 2 pick overall is going to be a starting football player, regardless of who they take. And at 16, you're almost definitely going to get a starter, unless they would make a grave mistake and take Ty Simpson. And then even at 33 and 44, we might get a couple of guys who are ready to start day one. I think at 33, that would be the expectation.
Right. Now you have 4 picks in the top 2 rounds this year and another 4 or 5 next year, correct?
Yeah.
They have 3 first and 1 second next year, I believe.
Yeah.
Oh,
3 number
you're
ones.
telling me the typical GM, even if he hits on 50%, he has 4 quality starters.
Yeah. I mean, if he does his job, yeah. I mean, sometimes you can't hit on everyone, but sometimes you do. But he's going to hit on, depending on the positions. I mean, there are safer positions too. So I think there's a very good chance we're going to hit on 75% of all these guys in these first and second round picks over the next 2 years.
Okay, now go by the rule, the positional rule. Safety is much improved.
Well, we have to say that it has. I mean, obviously we started with Cisco, and then Malachi Moore ended up playing last year as a starter. Now when you look at it, you see Fitzpatrick, you have Malachi Moore coming back in his second year. You have Cisco returning, and then you have this guy Belton, who brings a lot more depth than last year. Last year we were playing some guys named Clark that I never heard of. Belton is a guy who gets turnovers. He's a guy who's a solid veteran player. He's a guy that even if there's no injuries, is going to see the field in certain packages, right? Dime, maybe nickel. So I feel, I feel a lot better about the safety room.
And plus the star power is there, no, with Fitzpatrick.
Right. He might not be prime, but still very good. He's a very, very good safety and playmaking safety too.
If you look at what we've had back there, there's a big difference like that. Now, what about linebacker?
Well,
think about it. Davis is older, but he's still better than what we've had.
Well, Demario Davis is solid. I mean, let's face it. He gets over 100 tackles a year. He's super, super tough against the run. He still covers all the grounds. He's still a great run-stopping linebacker. He hasn't slowed down. Last year, he had a fine year. If he plays anything like he did last year, it's a huge improvement. I mean, Quincy Williams was awful. Awful.
Now, this is my only question to you. I only do quarterbacks and cap. I don't pay attention to, actual players when it comes to drafting real players in the NFL draft. You're a defensive coordinator. They're switching to a 3-4, correct? That's going to be their base the majority of the time, right?
Well, I wouldn't say a majority of the time. I would say when on first down, it'll be a 3-4. You'll have Sweat in there at nose tackle, guaranteed, right? For the most part. But 80% of our reps, believe it or not, 75% to 80% of the time, we're in nickel anyway. And we're going to run that like a 4-3 nickel. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of different looks, but we're definitely on first down, goal line stance, everything like that. The base is going to be like a 3-4. Yes.
So what do you think? Does a 3-4 type draft pick fit more important than a 4-3, or are they interchangeable in this future system? Because what the Jets always did was draft, hire a coach, draft a player, fire the coach, trade the player for the past how many years, Jeremy?
Oh my God, it's been forever. It's been forever.
Right.
I mean, the reason we traded Jermaine Johnson for Sweat is to prepare for those first downs, those goal lines, that base of a 3-4, for sure.
Right. So, what are you leaning with when it comes to Reese?
Well, I mean, the system that they're going to run favors Reese a lot more than the 4-3 we used to run. The 4-3 we used to run, you take Bailey and you take Bailey all day. You're just going to take a guy who's going to rush the quarterback all day. But in their system, Reese gives you a guy that rushes the quarterback, but also could play off linebacker, which is when you're doing different looks, that's exactly what you want. So I feel I'm not going to start a debate whether I'm a Reese guy or a Bailey guy, but I think they're going to take Reese based on what they're going to do defensively.
Okay. Now, are you okay with the edge rushers, the two outside defensive linemen and the 3-4 aspect of it on the Jets currently? What you see there?
Yeah. I like Sweat in the middle. I like Briggs. I like the combination of Sweat and Briggs, right? You got Sweat as run, Briggs in passing situations. Phillips is a solid football player. I have no problem with Phillips. And then we brought in a couple of guys, like we brought in much better depth, like in, Osei and some of these other guys that could play with their, even in a 3-4 alignment with their hands in the dirt. They could line up on, as the ends in that kind of alignment. And if you go to a 4-3, they could line up on the edge in rundowns as well. I mean, so I like the versatility of their defensive line. I mean, they got solid players. We need the star. You know what I mean? We need the star. But the role players, the depth is there.
Right. I'm going to plant the seed for you right now, okay? The Jets salary cap right now and their draft assets. I was never into doing a move like this. The Jets could go out and trade for any quarterback they want right now. And they won't even kill the future cap. That's A. I'm not saying they're going to do it. I'm saying the option. Number two, if they draft a quarterback, they have all the room, all the space to do whatever they want. You do realize once they have the quarterback in-house, all bets are off, right? You could do whatever you want.
I mean, you're seeing the Raiders do it. They know they're taking, they know who they're taking, and look at the money they're spending because they know that they can. Well, I mean, when you draft the quarterback, you have 5 years before you have to pay quarterback salary. That gives you so much flexibility for 5 solid years.
Right. But you also could go out and go trade for someone that's really going to help them.
I mean, look, if there's an unhappy quarterback out there and we now use these draft picks really well and start filling this roster in with like the stars that you need, because we're building the depth, we're building the solid players. You bring in some stars to lead those solid players, to be the big names. We're ready for a quarterback, and we're not going to be an unattractive place, right? We get a WR2, and suddenly you're looking at a good offensive line, good receivers, an up-and-coming tight end, hopefully. Suddenly, a quarterback might not mind coming here.
Now, you just brought up receiver. this is the one issue that I've been against a little bit, spending the high draft pick on the receiver this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm staring at Smith from Ohio State with my eyes wide open, and I'm looking at him saying, Wilson, Smith, and a deep threat that could spread the field would be the best wide receiver core we ever had.
I mean, can you imagine if the Colts finish with a top 5 pick for us and we finish with a top 5 pick and we get our quarterback and we get Smith as a wide receiver to add to Garrett Wilson? That would be a pretty amazing scenario.
Right. Now, do you really think that this team, like, quarterback is improved, correct? Even with Smith, with Geno.
Oh, there's no question. There's no question. People could be as down on Geno Smith as they want. Geno Smith is a million times better. He's a huge step up from the quarterback play we had combined last year. There's no argument about that. Even in his worst year last year with the Raiders, he's better than what we had. Realistically, the more realistic scenario with Geno Smith is he's going to fall somewhere in between last year and his good years before that. You know what I mean? He's not going to be as bad as last year. He won't be as good as his best years, but he'll be somewhere above that, which will be very solid for a bridge quarterback.
Now, taking a step back and looking at this, I truly believe that the Jets are going to draft a quarterback this year because they wouldn't bring in the offensive coordinator, the quarterback coach who liked particular types of quarterbacks, fired the old coordinator, and wait for next year to hire a new coach if this guy Glenn does bad. Right? I think if they draft a quarterback, they already have the next head coach in-house. And they just give it to Reich. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, what's nice is no matter what we do, it's I don't see how people could say what they used to say about, oh, the quarterback, can't bring a quarterback in here with the Jets. I mean, Frank Reich is respectable, very respectable. We also have a respectable quarterback coach. This is no longer a place we can't bring a quarterback. Everybody keeps saying Aaron Glenn will ruin him. Aaron Glenn is not going to touch any young quarterback that we have. It's going to be Frank Reich, and we have a veteran quarterback coach now. We've needed this for years. So we definitely could draft a quarterback this year and be ready and have a real coaching staff that can develop them.
Exactly. Now, since the new GM took over, what do you think his worst move has been?
Well, I mean, are we going to give him like blame for Justin Fields, or was that on Aaron Glenn?
I think that might have been on entertaining the fan base by bringing in a quarterback because they know they weren't going to be competitive anyway.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Maybe, but I mean, it did some damage, right? Because we're eating some money now. I mean, not terrible damage. We're undoing the damage really quickly, but yeah, no, I mean, and I don't know how much he had to do with it versus Aaron Glenn, but I'm curious about you telling me what his biggest mistake was. I know people aren't happy with his day 3 of the draft last year, but it's hard to really criticize a GM for day 3 draft picks, in my opinion.
Well, you know what? We've always said that New York is a very impatient town. The development on players is normally non-existent because ownership has always run out of patience with everyone. Am I right or wrong?
You're right.
Right. Now, this is why I think that, judging by what he's done with the cap, I truly believe that our new GM has a thought process in place. And judging by the free agency signed already, I really think, like, if a Sonny Styles came in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
If he came in here, who better to learn under than Demario Davis?
Yeah, it would. Look, there's plenty of people that would be okay if Sonny Styles was the pick. But there's a lot of people who just think you can't take that position at number 2 in the draft because this is our opportunity to get edge. So that's going to be a debate. No matter what we do, people will be fighting over that forever. But there are definitely people out there that think very strongly that Sonny Styles would be the most solid pick at number 2.
Probably the safest pick, no?
I'm sorry?
Is he the safest pick?
I would say Caleb Downs was the safest pick until he got that medical report. And I think Sonny Styles is probably the safest pick in the draft for sure.
Okay. Cleveland gives you a call, 624 and a second round pick, which is even for pick 2. How quick you pulling that trigger?
In a second. I take a trade in a second. I'll trade with Tennessee, Cleveland. I'll go down as long as I'm still in the top 6, 7 or whatever in that range. If you give me a second and a third or a second and a second next year, whatever it is, I'm so happy. This is the draft where you want to trade down. If you have an opportunity to trade out of that number 2 pick and get some extra picks and still grab a guy like Sonny Styles or worst case Caleb Downs or something like that, I jump all over that. All over that.
Right. Now, here's my other thing. I look into draft history. This really is not. We're not going to discuss quarterbacks. That's another day. Okay. This really is not a strong positional draft at positions of need. You're not taking a cornerback at 2, correct?
I'm not taking a cornerback at 16 or 2. So
right. That's an issue. Now, also, you know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's no offensive tackle that you're taking at 2. If you needed one, is there?
Not really. It's more the 8 to 16 range. There's like 3 of them, but none of them are really sticking out like a top 5 pick.
There's no wide receiver that you take. Like, you could stare at Smith from Ohio State next year and say, I'm taking him at 2 with a smile, correct?
The only reason somebody would trade up for 2 is if you get a battle for Love, right? Because you got a couple of teams like that might really want Love. You got the Commanders and you got Tennessee. There's a couple of teams, even the Giants, that might really love. And if Moogs was to get on the phone with these guys and say, hey, I got somebody who's going to trade up with me and grab this kid, he might be able to use that as leverage against the other 2 teams. And if there is a demand for him, if these guys really want him, you might get somebody willing to make a trade for him. But that's the only position I could really see somebody making a really big push to trade up for.
Okay. How much time you have left?
Well, I have a while. Good hour.
Okay. We could take it to the hour, right?
Oh, yeah.
We'll make it an hour straight, correct?
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay. Your offensive guards in the draft, who are your top 2?
The kid from Penn State, Vega, and then Pregnon from Oregon.
Is the Oregon guard going to be a future guard?
Yeah.
In the NFL?
Oh, yeah. Pregnon, he's going to be a very good guard in the NFL. Yeah. He's really, really good if you want a guy who can get out to the get out to the next level and in a running game, in a situation, you could slide him over, you could sweep with him, you could do a lot of things with him. He's a great athlete, powerful, strong. He's great. The only reason I think that we don't talk about Pregnon as much is because, Vega from Penn State is such a, polarizing prospect.
Okay, now what about center? Who do you see out there that's really clear cut about everybody else?
It's actually a really deep draft in center. It's hard to pick one that stands out. There's and if you go by the different experts that are out there, the different evaluators, it's like there's no consensus agreement on it. I like Parker Brailsford. I think he's just the right size. He's 6'2", 6'3", natural center. No more of this converted kind of guy and question marks. Is he too big? Is he the right body type? I think Parker Brailsford was born to be a center. He's, could do he could do shotgun. He could, hands under his ass. He could do anything. I like him, but there's a bunch of good guys. There's like 5 centers who could legitimately be starting centers in the NFL someday. I mean, they don't always hit all of them, but so I don't know for sure. But there's 5 to 6 good prospects at center, to be honest.
So you're happy with?
Yeah, there's like 4 or 5 of them that we could take. I mean, Logan is really good. That's the one that Dom C really likes, and I have no doubt he might be a really good player. I like Parker; he's a really good player. I think I'm forgetting his name. Kunis. There's a few of them, and even at the end of the draft, if you don't get a center in the like if you get to 140 and you haven't picked one, there's Coogan, the guy or whatever from Indiana. He's not even a top. They don't even have him in the top 5 or 6 at center, and I think he might end up developing into a good center.
So you consider center an upgradable position, correct?
Easy. This is a great year. I think personally, I think that center is a very strong year, and the best part about it is you can get it at 103, you can get it at 140, like you can use one of those 4th round picks.
Right. Now I'm going to go to the next. This is the one that drives me crazy with Jet fans. Wide receiver. Do you see a clear-cut alpha wide receiver at the top of this draft? You got to remember, we had Keyshawn Johnson. They picked him first in the year because that was another weak draft, right?
Yeah.
Do you see a true number 1 Jamar Chase receiver in this draft?
No, not at number 2.
Right. Can I ask you why, with the draft capital we have and the actual cap space, if they do draft a quarterback, why can't you go all in on grabbing a receiver from a team that needs to make cap space and needs to get rid of a real decent day 2 receiver, a number 2 receiver? And then go all in next year on a better wide receiver class.
I mean, I think the biggest, because I'm always like, why now? Why does everybody wants to fill every hole in the team right now? The only argument why now for WR2 that I could give, the best argument I could give, is you want to be able to be a functional offense, to evaluate things, and but it's Geno Smith, right? So what is there to evaluate? You know what you have. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to give a real solid argument of why the wide receiver has to come this year. We know we need, especially because we have AD Mitchell, who deserves an opportunity to be evaluated at the position.
You know what? Geno Smith is here to be a bridge quarterback, I believe.
Absolutely. 1-year bridge.
Right. Or a mentor, 6 games and start the rookie eventually.
If we ended up drafting a rookie, and the only 2, I mean, if we draft a quarterback this year that we intend to play, there's only 2 names that come into my head where that would be the plan, and that would be Ty Simpson or Drew Aller.
Well, I melt when you say Simpson.
I know. So, well, I mean, that's the big fear, right? Mel Kiper's got us taking him at 16. That's my biggest fear. We get up onto that podium at 16 and take Ty Simpson. To me, that's a potential disaster.
Okay, now getting back to building the roster with the draft this year, is there a true number 1 cornerback in this draft?
No, it's very deep at cornerback. There's like 6 to 8 really good cornerbacks, but none that are. There's no Sauce Gardner or the guy from Houston that they took. There's no big name guy. It's more like they're just solid guys that could go anywhere after, I'd say, maybe you see the first cornerback at around 10. 10, 11, you might see a cornerback go. And then you'll see a bunch of cornerbacks go between 10 and 25. There's like 4 names. And then there's a bunch that'll go, another 4 that could go easily end of first round, first half of the second round, but not really top tier cornerback prospects.
Okay, safety prospects.
Just one that's top tier. That's Downs, but he has the medical. So before the medical, Downs was the one that could do it. Other than that, you got Dylan Thieneman, But again, you're not going to take Dylan Thieneman in the top 10, I don't think. Right? He's more of the earliest.
Second round.
Well, I could see him go. I could see Dylan Thieneman going though in the top 20. I honestly can. He might, but I wouldn't be super excited to take him at 16. I think it's a little too early personally, but because of what a weak draft it is, you could see Dylan Thieneman go in the top 20. It could definitely happen.
I'll tell you right now, next year needs to be a big time draft with 3 first-round picks.
It's supposed to be. It's measuring up to be. I mean, and it's too early to say it because we saw what happened last year with the quarterback position. But right now, 27 is predicted to be maybe the best in over a decade.
Talking positional plays. I'll tell you one thing, the quarterback hype, I'm really starting to see through quarterback hype. Everybody hypes everyone, but if you take a real look at them, there's a lot of issues sometimes. That's why I'm saying next year's quarterback class is great.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's that way every year. Everybody thinks, the next year is going to be great, and really doesn't pan out with draft history of quarterbacks.
Yeah. I mean, look, quarterback is hard. I mean, everybody thinks every year when you talk about the top quarterbacks that they're a guarantee. There's no such thing as guarantee at quarterback. I mean, when it comes to quarterback, there's no guarantees. We see it all the time. We see some of the most highly touted, highly praised guys come out, at quarterback, and everyone's excited, and this is the guy, and then we see it flop, and it doesn't happen, right? So, and then we see quarterbacks who nobody talks about, and they're drafted, and somewhere in the second round or the middle of the first to late first round, and those are the quarterbacks that really take off.
You know what, Jeremy? There was, I believe, 320 quarterbacks drafted from 2000 until 24, so 25, something like that. Maybe 28 started.
Yeah.
Of that, they really aren't top tier quarterbacks anyway. Some of them.
Yeah, I mean, there's not even now today. If you name how many top tier quarterbacks are in the league right now, like how many guys right now are flawless? This is the guy I want, right? Patrick Mahomes, you could say that. Everybody agrees his skills look like they're deteriorating, but that could be the team around him, right? So so of course we're going to consider Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, the kid from Cincinnati.
I wouldn't consider Jackson any longer because he's a running quarterback and he's getting older.
Right, even now, right. So we could start picking at these guys right now. Right, there are people picking at Mahomes saying they don't know if he'll ever be the same, and there's a little debate there. There's Lamar Jackson saying now that you took away his legs a little bit, you could see he's been exposed. I mean, what do you got? You got Josh Allen, you got Burrows, and then you got some like Dallas Prescott. He's good. He hasn't won a big game though. He doesn't win big games. Dak, so it's hard to find a quarterback in this league.
But you know what? You're looking at this roster, Jeremy. The Jets failed miserably with Donald with a horrible roster. But if they draft a kid and he's looking at Garrett Wilson, 5 offensive linemen, if they gave this offensive line to Aaron Rodgers 3 years ago, we'd have a different story,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, Sam Darnold, and people hate when we dwell on it, but the reality is, he never got a really fair shake. Look at the roster. Look at our roster. Look at the roster that Sam Darnold had to play with in 2019. It's like almost humorous, right? I mean, so, not to like pull out old wounds or whatever, but I mean, let's be honest. What's different about this rebuild, I agree, is when we do draft a quarterback, we actually might be giving them a decent supporting cast this time.
Right, exactly. I went to the Ghost game, by the way. I had 7th row seats in the end zone, perfect seats, surrounded by Patriot fans. Not everybody was a Patriot fan in my section. So it was horrible. You saw that kid struggle, Donald. he stood no chance against that defense with his supporting cast.
Yeah.
Okay, so are we good to go? I think that's good for today. Informative video, I think, on the salary cap, correct?
Yeah, I think that we have to. It's very hard. I think it would be very difficult for anybody to make an argument that he's not doing a really good job when it comes to the management of the salary cap, the way he's structuring, the future as far as the finances are concerned. Obviously, the players he has to bring in, the players have to prove themselves, right? The players have to be talented enough to win games for him to look like he's smart there. But when you consider the money, when we're looking at it from just the angle of money and how is he doing from the financial aspect of that, I don't see how anybody could criticize what he's doing.
Can I ask you your serious assessment? Like, I looked at last year as a total evaluation year for the Jets. I don't even look at win-loss. I look at evaluating the players, seeing what you have, seeing what you need. Win-loss really wasn't in play for me whatsoever, okay? I'm hearing Jets fans say, which also bothers me, that Aaron Glenn needs to win so-and-so amount of games in order to save his job. I want you to think real hard on that question, Jeremy, because I don't see it. If the Jets draft a quarterback this year, I believe Aaron Glenn will be given a third year with Reich as the offensive coordinator. And then given a fourth year to Reich to protect the quarterback. I don't think that I think the Jets have learned from their past history on how to mess up a quarterback. I was going to curse there, okay? How to mess up a quarterback. And I think this might be the real opportunity to get behind a kid the right way. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that a lot of people are making the assumption that Aaron Glenn is on the hot seat or will be on the hot seat, or it's based on how many games he wins. I think that we have to be, I don't think it's so much about wins as it is competitiveness. I do believe he has to be competitive. I do believe that it can't be that we're just getting blown out of games every week after week and it's just a complete shit show. We have to show growth. We have to show improvement. But I do see a world where we could win 4 to 5 games and that he's not fired. He's fine if we're competitive and look a lot better. I do see a world where that could be a real thing. Because everything is speculation that we're talking about. He may already have an agreement with Woody Johnson. They might be in a room saying, yeah, it could be ugly for another year. And then even the year after that could start off ugly, because we're going to have an inexperienced quarterback. Like, who knows? But, so we don't know what the reality is, I see somebody's asking about, how many player contracts are up. I think that next year, at the end of this next upcoming season, there's going to be less contracts up than there were this year. Like we're slowly getting in better shape. And also, as we draft more players, we're going to have more longer term guaranteed contracts. So to me, it's not like, oh, he just cut everybody, he didn't sign anybody, and that's why we have money. That's not true. He actually brought in like 7 players this year, all guys with real roles that are respectable, real football players. So I don't think I think what's part of what's making his salary cap management so impressive is he's improving the roster while doing it.
Exactly. Now, going back to last year, what was the team's strength? What was their identity? We didn't have one.
No, we didn't have an identity at all last year. That was a huge part of the problem. I think Frank Reich on offense is going to give us an identity. I think he's going to build, and we know what his offenses look like. A lot of run, defined by the run, a lot of play action. Establish a good run, make the players put more guys in the box, play action. Give Geno the opportunity to pull the ball back, and have some one-on-ones, have Garrett Wilson one-on-one, and create some good pass-friendly situations.
Right. But you can't say anything about the Jets last year that scared like you get up as an opposing offensive or defensive coordinator to play that team, you can't say I'm pulling my hair out to play the Jets because they have a great offensive line and running game. You can't say they have a quarterback that'll beat you or wide receivers when Garrett Wilson was out that scare you. You can't say the defense scares you in any way whatsoever last year. Am I correct that the interior defensive line was a revolving door for the rush?
Yeah.
You could really say that they're starting to build many identities. You know, like, you know what? They got a good safety room. Or they have, right, they're starting to build a really nice offensive line over there.
You know,
that's how you build your team, Jeremy. You believe it or not?
No, really. And I think that we also like, one of the better identities that it looks like that's becoming very obvious, if you really do the analysis on the players they brought in, is there's no reason to believe we're not substantially going to improve our run defense. So, a good base way to build a team and build an identity is be able to run the ball. And then on the opposite side of the ball, be able to stop the run. To me, that leads to what that equates to is time of possession, right?
Okay.
If you run the ball well and you don't let the other team run the ball well, you are going to do well in time of possession. And that is one place we struggled and one place that we really need to improve, and what winning teams that are good, solid, competitive teams, time of possession is very important.
Okay, now one other, Breece Hall, right? Out of all the players on the team, you don't see any real non-happy players.
Yeah. I just want to say, Twisted, what you're saying is based on all nonsense, unproven hearsay. We have no evidence that Woody stripped power from AG. None. If you listen to Mike Francesca and consider that evidence, you need to listen to news sources. Connor Hughes is a much more trustworthy source than Mike Francesca. So we need so you're talking about things like it's fact, and it's very, very not fact. Mike Francesca is a guy who sits on his ass and does a sports talk show. He has no contacts, no information. He also said that Arch Manning wouldn't come play for the Jets. The guy makes things up. So we don't know who stripped power from who. All of that is nonsense speculation that we're really trying to get away from. We're basing our information and we're basing our conversations on fact, on things that we know. And when we are speculating, we say that we're speculating. But we're not going to sit here, right? We're not going to sit here and pretend that Woody stripped power from AG because Mike Francesca went on freaking The Fan and said it, because that's a bunch of nonsense.
Exactly. Right? So the amount of negative news, you're muted.
I'm muted? Really?
No, now you're not. You're good now.
Okay. The amount of negative news. I mean, look, we're always going to have that. Until we win, there's going to be negative news.
But it went away, though, no?
What?
Hasn't it gone away, the majority of it?
A lot of the negativity went away. Like Deanna Rossini, or whatever her name is completely called off the attack. Like she, like you could see the change in the media, the general NFL media. You could see the turn. Now we got some inside local media guys like Francesca. You got like those people starting nonsense rumors, and you have a couple of clowns out there. But the actual real media is laying off us because we've done everything really well, like since they've taken over, like in this offseason. Like so far, we're getting lots of respect. Like, when have you ever seen us ranked as the best offseason? There's different organizations and different and the analysts out there saying we've had the best offseason as far as improving the team in a smart, intelligent way.
Now, the Jet fans have been through a lot the past 15 or so years. They haven't seen anything, correct? That negativity among the fan base needs to go away, Gary. That really does. That's the part that's going to end up helping to change this culture of this team. Now, exactly what you said. There's hardly, if you look at Mougey's job, he gutted it out. He did a great job cleaning the cap. He's bringing in piece by piece. He's upgrading rooms a little at a time. He's doing in-depth work on his draft picks, I'm sure. Okay, his next draft class. he is doing a pretty good job. He made those Source contract and the other contract top notch, team friendly. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
Where they were able to trade the contract and get some nice value back for the player on top of it, not giving huge dead caps to the other team. He's doing a lot of work. Okay, there's a lot. It's like you can't make fun of how the Jets are run any longer. This is a real serious GM. And I would give him a grade, a really high grade as of now.
Yeah, look, I mean, at the end of the day, we all know and agree that the final judgment will be wins, right? And to me, you have to wait till like 2028 until you know. And I'm not saying that means don't do anything, don't fire anyone. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if these guys stick around to 28, that's how long it might take until we really know. And that's what's called patience. But at the same time, I understand there's a portion of this fan base. We haven't made the playoffs in freaking forever. And there's a portion of this fan base that just chooses to be negative. And they can't see anything outside of negative. But if you look at what was available out there, the situation that we're in, there's nothing negative about what they did. They did what was reasonably accessible to them. If you're mad because they didn't sign 2-star players, and that's what you think we should have done, 2 mega deals for 2 stars, then we're just going to have to disagree because that's not what this team needed to do to become a winner. It doesn't work. Going out for 2 or 3 big stars does not work. And you could look at our past or any other team. You don't buy a team. You complement a team with free agency. You don't buy a team. The great teams, and Joe will say it a million times over, and there's tons of evidence, are the teams that draft their star players. They draft great players, and they retain them and extend them. That's how you build a great team.
Exactly. You're muted again.
No, I'm not muted. I just stopped talking.
You're frozen a little. Okay, you're good.
Oh, okay. I'm freezing a little. Maybe you might be you.
Yeah, it's a new phone. I just got it 10 minutes ago, actually. The next thing that you're going on the same page. I always believe free agency, you find the nice younger player that might fill a need, that has something to prove coming off his first contract, like the edge that we signed, the linebacker, OC, right? Good young player that has upside. You bring in a vet leader, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's what you use free agency for. He's not here. Demario Davis isn't here for the long run.
Right.
You know, he's here to set the tone on how to be a team on defense.
Yeah. I mean,
right?
you bring in some veterans to teach you're going to bring in all these young players. You have all these draft picks. You're going to bring in all these young players. You got to have some veterans, right? So, I mean, I love it. I love it. In every room, you try to get some veterans in there. So they got to teach them how to be professionals. They got to create the right culture. And then slowly those young players become veterans themselves as those other guys leave. When Demario Davis leaves, hopefully Sherwood's going to be ready to step into the role of leading type of player. And guess what? Demario Davis had off years. There was a time where, he was good and then he kind of struggled and then all of a sudden he exploded. There's still hope for Sherwood. He might end up being very good after spending a year playing alongside of Demario Davis.
Right, but he's also in a different system this year, correct?
Yes.
That might be more user-friendly for him.
It's going to be a much more better user-friendly system for Sherwood. Like, there's no doubt that he struggled from the change last year.
Okay, you want to wrap it up? You good?
Yeah, sure. That is the New York Jets. Thanks everybody for your the chat, the discussion in the chat. Thanks for your comments. Now we need to see them win. Everybody agrees with that. Like, I'm not gonna do what I did 3 or 4 years ago. That used to drive you crazy, Joe. I'm not gonna sit here and start celebrating. I'm not gonna start saying, "Oh my God, we're gonna win so many games." I'm only gonna judge what we see, and what we see right now, I like what we're seeing. I think they're making good moves, and then in in the future, we're going to see if it translates to wins. That's all we could do. But for right now, I like the moves.
I'll be honest. If you look at the schedule, Jeremy, there's some winnable games there.
Yeah.
Some serious. Miami now is that should be considered 2 easy wins.
Yeah, look, we need to beat Miami in both those games. They're tanking
right.
They're tanking on purpose.
Right. I mean, you have 5 or 6 probable pretty decent wins there without even looking.
I mean, the only path to 7 wins, because I don't think I'm not predicting that or anything, but when people say we could win 7 games, I would say, okay, the way to win 7 games is we have to win every game we're supposed to win, and then we have to pull off an upset or 2. We have to be really competitive and put ourselves in a situation where a big turnover or something swings the game to our side. And then, you get to 7 wins. I mean, more important than the number of wins to me is just the players, the emergence of the players. Like if Mason Taylor takes a big jump this year, is A.Z. Thomas going to take a big jump this year? Is Fashanu finally going to play at Pro Bowl level? What is Membu's potential? We saw him as a rookie. What could he look like if he takes an even bigger step forward this year? Those are the things I'm looking for.
I'll be honest, Jeremy. This team is not getting blown out any longer. They're going to be competitive in every game.
I hope so. I
feel it.
I hope so.
Okay, so we'll talk and see, what we go from here. Okay, bud?
Yeah, and I'm also just gonna end, and you could go if you want, Tony, but I just want everybody to know Tony the GM hasn't been for 4 years, 5 years, been Mr. Positive. Right? So when he says, I'm excited and think they're doing the right thing, and I think they're doing good things, and I don't think they're gonna get blown out of games. This is not a guy that's been saying that. Right? This is not a guy who's saying what we want to hear. This is a guy who, when we drafted Zach Wilson and got rid of Sam Darnold, was saying in the chat, this is going to backfire. This is bad. We're doing this wrong. He was saying that the whole time. So when Tony is sitting there saying, I'm happy with what we're doing, he does not give that away. He's not like me. I sit there and try to be positive every year, and I'm positive spin. Tony doesn't. So when I hear Tony turn and start to say that we're doing the right thing and we're starting to turn in the right direction, that means something. So take that for what it's worth. Everybody that was here, I appreciate you watching in the middle of the day, unannounced show. Glad that you could be here with us. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I'm going to leave you with this.
What do you think?
And this, I promise you, is no lie. His legend will live on, just like the catcher in the rye. His word will be shared in every classroom. Kids will be wearing a Jeremy costume. He has been a Jets fan for over 40 years. So far they have left him drowning in tears. All brakes and no gas. That went as well as looking at green beans ass. Pizza is the weakness from this chaotic storm. That of Frankie, who used to bring the calm, not on Thursdays. With O'Leary, he will tell that dude named Hennessy to go to hell. Reacting to the games on green beans, Jets fan. Nick Shine and Dano screaming Jeremy is the man. From Jake Asman to Gunny to Jets talk 24/7. A New York Jets championship will be pure heaven. Deli, cheesesteak, and Southern barbecue. Jeremy and his brothers on Brooklyn Brothers Food Review. You can never get too much of his bald head. You won't forget his name until you're lost.